Like most sports fans in America, I can't get enough of the NFL. You watch 2 or 3 games on Sunday, and then you got the Monday night game, and it's a blast. Except now, there's also games every Thursday night and occasionally Friday or Saturday. And the cost of this? If you literally want to have access to every game, it adds up. Because the NFL's gone beyond the traditional networks, they now stream a bunch of games. There's Peacock, $5 a month. Prime Video, $9 a month. Netflix, $7. ESPN Plus, $11. And for the biggest package, the granddaddy of them all, the NFL Sunday Ticket, if you already have YouTube TV, it's $349. Without a YouTube subscription, $449. Add it all up, and it's like $850 out of your pocket for every NFL game. That's before we get to other viewing costs. Everyone's dumping satellite or cable TV for streaming services, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Max, Stars, and so on. Folks, trust me, you can cut the cord, but you can't cut the costs. They used to get you coming, now they'll get you going. And guess what? They're coming and going for it all. It's the military, industrial, deep state media conglomerate complex. They want it all. You want every last penny out of our pockets? Go ahead, take it all, because you folks are making me gambling. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. And welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. I am Norman Chad. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked fresh off of Central California trees every morning, direct to your local retailer every afternoon. And by Fresca, refreshing, remarkable, it's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca, it's a meal. Coming up today on the show, we have our acclaimed NFL picks are back. Can we possibly like the Titans? We have a few words of advice for a beleaguered Ben Affleck, and we have a moment with McNuggets. But first, I try to stay even-tempered when I report the ills of the gambling world and the rest of the world, but sometimes I can't. DraftKings was just fined $19,000 by the state of Connecticut because it was operating an online slot game in which no player got a single penny back. The name of the game is Deal or No Deal Bankers Bonanza. 500 customers or so gave that game 21,000 spins or so for exactly zero payout to anyone. The game advertises that players get 95 cents on every dollar wager. Let's just stop right there. You know, if you deposited $1 at the bank and the next day you go back and they gave you 95 cents, how long would you be going to that bank? Okay? But in the world of slots, losing only a nickel on every dollar you give them is a good deal. But in this case, 21,000 spins and not a single nickel came back to a player. DraftKings looked into it and says that the game's developer, White House Gaming, accidentally set the game's payout rate to zero. They just set it for zero. I'm going to count down from 3 now, and then I'm going to scream. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's review the situation at hand we have now. DraftKings ends up returning nearly $24,000 in wagers to players who bet during the affected period. DraftKings was fined by the state of Connecticut $19,000. White House Gaming fined by the state of Connecticut $3,500. I would have fined DraftKings $1 million and/or shut them down for 90 days. I would have fined White House Gaming $100,000 and or shut them down for 90 days. But that's just me. 3, 2, 1. Ah! If you are rooting for the hostages being held in detention over the January 6th insurrection 3.5 years ago, you're not going to like what I'm about to tell you. The so-called J6 Awards Gala fundraiser, scheduled for this month at Donald Trump's golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, has been postponed indefinitely. That's right, the J6 Awards Gala fundraiser. The event was hyped as a celebration of the January 6th defendants and a fundraiser for their legal fees. The fundraising part of the J6 Awards Gala fundraiser, that's clear. The awards part seemed a little bit confounding. Awards for J6? But yes, it will be like the Oscars or the Grammys, and my sources tell me that categories will include Best T-shirt decrying the deep state, Best use of a crowbar, and Best resistance to Capitol Police. I want to give you a brief update now on a story we reported on a while back in which a hotel guest in Las Vegas was stung in the testicles by a scorpion while sleeping. Michael Farchi of Agora Hills, California, is now suing the Venetian Casino and Hotel, claiming the sting has caused erectile dysfunction, PTSD, and emotional trauma, according to KLAS-TV. Farhi is being represented by a Southern California firm called My Bed Bug Lawyer. I'm not making that up. In fact, if you lived in LA, you know I'm not making that up. If you live in Los Angeles long enough, you come to realize that no matter any retail need you might have, no matter how quirky that need is, someone here can serve you. So yes, my bedbuglawyer.com is available for all your bed bug litigation needs. All right, Sports Nation, it is time for NFL picks. I apologize for my belated start coming here in week 3, but you know, folks, when my IBS kicks up, it gets very, very irritable. So I had to wait a couple of weeks. So why should you listen to Gambling Mad? Because you will lose less with me than the other huck doodles. I run an honest shop, and I can prove it. Here is my recent record against the spread, all right? All my picks were publicly posted on Twitter. You see, it's hard to stay over 500 each year, but I do it every year. You see, we go till 2020. Now, you might ask, what happened 2021 through 2023? I took a little time off to reassess, to re-energize, and to recharge. And now I am back. Better than ever? I doubt it. Okay, but let's pick some games, shall we? Let's start off with, who are we starting off with? The Chargers and the Steelers. We're starting off with the Chargers and the Steelers. The Chargers at the Steelers. The Chargers have a very good defense and a very bad offense. If the Steeler defense played the Steeler offense, they might shut them out every week. The Steelers offense is 30th out of 32 teams in the league in yards gained. Another key to this game, Jim Harbaugh did a really smart thing. His Chargers played in Carolina last week. Instead of going all the way home to L.A., the team stayed back east and went straight to Pittsburgh. That is 5,000 air miles they saved. That's 2 times through TSA they saved. Plus, they avoided LAX twice. Okay, LAX is the Bermuda Triangle of airports. You try to get in or out of there, and you disappear. Take the Chargers, plus 1 point. Next, Packers at the Titans. Now, somehow the Titans, who are 0-2, are favored in this game. Somehow, I'm considering taking the Titans. Now, why am I doing this? The Titans quarterback, has made so many critical errors already this season, I refuse to say his name until he wins a game. I'm thinking Titans coach Brian Callahan, he has the right game plan here. He's just going to run the ball a lot. Their quarterback, who shall remain nameless, is really good at handing it off. Now, it is possible if the Titans do not turn the ball over against Green Bay, I think they will win the game. I'm not completely sure, so I do have my handy 8-ball. Let's ask the 8-ball, will the Titans win this Sunday? It is decidedly so. What the hell does that mean? I guess that means yes. If it means yes, we go with the Titans. I had one prepared for the other way, but we go with the Titans minus 3 points. Next, Dolphins at Seahawks. Tua is out with a concussion for the Dolphins. His replacement at quarterback is Skylar Thompson. Nothing against this guy, but Skylar Thompson sounds like an understudy for Cirque du Soleil. Meanwhile, how about the Seahawks quarterback, Geno Smith? He's proven you can stink in your 20s and be swell in your 30s. In his first 6 years in the league, he never had a passer rating higher than 87. In his last 5 years, he's never had a passer rating lower than 94. FYI, I was terrible in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, but now I am unbeatable in my 60s. Take the Seahawks minus 4.5 points. It's time for our calendar pick of the week. Calendar picks 62% since 1997. The Lions at the Cardinals should be a good one. The Lions are a really good road team. They were last year, and they should have a ton of fans at State Farm Stadium. However, the Cardinals are the highest scoring team in the NFL. That's not the New Orleans Saints. Quarterback Kyler Murray had a perfect passer rating last week of 158.3. Not 158, 158.3. That's how good he was. You think Tom Brady had a 158.3 rating last week in the broadcast booth? I don't think so. Plus, it is going to be hot, hot, hot in Glendale, Arizona. 100 degrees. It's always 100 degrees there. How many times do I have to tell you? Now, sure, the stadium has a retractable roof that will be closed, but it's hard to air condition a place with 60 or 70,000 people in it. Or have you all never been to Dave and Buster's? So we're going to go with the Cardinals getting 3 points. Our final pick of the week. The Jaguars are at the Bills. Josh Allen this year, 31 of 42, 371 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Plus, he has a mustache, which will serve him well when it gets colder later in the season. This game is in Buffalo. It is Monday Night Football. There might be a 250,000 Buffalonians. There might be a 250,000 Buffalonians in that stadium Monday night, and they all will be lit. Labatt Blue Beer, my friends. And there are a lot of two-fisted drinkers among Bills fans. If Buffalo does not win this game by at least a touchdown, I will move to Jacksonville next week. Where is Jacksonville? It doesn't matter. It's a moot point. Buffalo wins this game. I'll take Buffalo minus 5.5. It's time again to talk frankly to my buddy Ben Affleck. He's so screwed up, he's one of the few people I can give relationship advice to. Okay, Ben, number one, stay away from Jennifer Lopez forever. You are 0 for 2 so far with her. 2, when you're going through a marital breakup, there's no reason to go out and buy a $20 million home as you have done. Just get a Corvette instead. Plus, you know, you bought this home in the Pacific Palisades area of Los Angeles, which means you should also purchase a helicopter to go anywhere because it'll take you a day and a half with an automobile. Number 3, your new home is not ready yet to move into. You can't occupy it. So what do? You find a $100,000 a month rental in Brentwood. Ever hear of Extended Stay America, pal? I guess money really does grow on trees in Hollywood. Number 4, a few Saturdays ago, you were spotted getting dinner delivery from Jack in the Box. You've got your head up your ass, son. Number 5, the following Saturday, is this possible? You were seen getting delivery from Chick-fil-A. Ben. Countless top-shelf LA eateries now deliver via DoorDash. You obviously can afford that. Stop binging Jumbo Jack cheeseburger combos. And finally, number 6. If you are dumb enough to eat Jack in the Box and Chick-fil-A, don't let photographers take photos of you that they will sell to the New York Post. Dang it, Ben. J-Lo really f***ed you up. Time for D-Gen's gonna D-Gen. A 33-year-old man underwent emergency surgery for serious head injuries at Graz University Hospital in Austria earlier this year after a forestry accident. Several months later, according to Sky News, the patient found out that the surgeon allowed his 13-year-old daughter, the surgeon's 13-year-old daughter, to drill a hole in the patient's skull. The patient's attorney, Peter Friederger, said there was no explanation or apology for this. Now, as it turns out, the operation was successful. The surgeon was let go by the hospital, and the local public prosecutor's office is investigating. Okay, I understand that bring your kid to work day is a popular tradition, but you are supposed to bring your kid to work to see what you do, not do what you do. Okay, granted, some people don't do much at work. So, if you're the vice president of the United States or you're Eric Trump, that's, no big deal. No harm done. But if you are a neurosurgeon or an air traffic controller or Keith Richards, there is a lot of downside in letting your kid do your job. But D-Gens are going to D-Gen. All right, people, help me out here. The NFL grosses billions of dollars each year. The average NFL franchise is worth $5 billion. So explain to me how this always happens. Okay, Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love, injured in the season opener, something with his right leg. When he got hurt, and it turned out to be an MCL sprain, he walked off the field with his arms draped over the shoulders of, a couple of trainers. Okay, they are paying Jordan Love $220 million over the next 4 years. He is the most valuable asset on the franchise. Why would you have him limping off the field, putting weight on his bad leg? Why would you not bring out a stretcher to wheel him off the field? Oh, what is this, 1861? The face of the franchise injures his knee and you point him towards the locker room? Is it me? No, it's them. It's stupid. In the wonderful world of food, we have good news and bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. McDonald's introduced McNuggets nationwide in 1983. This week, I sampled them for the first time ever. My guess, conservatively speaking, is that I will wait another 41 years before sampling them again. What was I thinking? What are they thinking? Okay, so I wanted to, for professional purposes, I wanted to try McDonald's $5 or $6 meal deal that is resuscitating the company right now. So I got a McDouble, small fries, 4 McNuggets, and a small drink for $6. The McDouble pretty much tasted like a hamburger I remember from McDonald's like 50 years ago when I had them. Edible, nothing special. The fries would have been okay if they were warm. The beverage was a Diet Coke, and as we know, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, on my Mount Rushmore of diet soft drinks. So it was delicious. And then there were these poor, lonely, dry, listless McNuggets. No taste, no mas. On to the good news, and this is incredibly good news. On Netflix, on the first episode of the 4th season of Emily in Paris, one of the main characters is seen eating Fritos. Eating Fritos in Paris! That's right, Fritos! Picked daily, every morning, from Central California trees, delivered fresh every afternoon to your retailer in Paris. Ooh la la! By the way, Emily in Paris, I don't know how I've watched it for 3 seasons. It kind of makes me sick. It's a nauseating show, but it's great shots of Paris, and somehow I stay with it. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Silver Spring, Maryland is the best place in the United States for families to live. That's just not my just opinion, okay? Forbes magazine ranks Silver Spring number 1. Hey, I grew up in Silver Spring, and I grew up in a family, and look how well I turned out. By the way, let me just clarify for you before going further. The name of the city is Silver Spring. People often say Silver Springs. No. Only one spring there, and it is a damn good spring. So Silver Spring, which borders Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Silver Spring has everything other than palm trees, restaurants, bars, malls, parks, libraries, traffic, and some of the best 7-Elevens in the nation. Once in a while, we shoot each other, but most of the time, we live in harmony. Silver Spring is clearly number 1. You would know that if you grew up there. Now, Forbes ranks Upper Merion, Pennsylvania, as the number 2 best place for families to live in America. Sure, Upper Merion is fine. It's better than Lower Merion, but Upper Merion is no Silver Spring. As Shakespeare once wrote, "Be not afraid of Silver Spring. Some are born in Silver Spring. Others have Silver Spring thrust upon them." That will do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you next time. And remember, if you are going to roll the dice, make sure they are loaded.
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad and ghostwritten by Norm Chad. Executive producer John Scheinberg, Rick Barrio-Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Associate producer is Bree Cooley. Showrunner is Dan Telfer. Audio, video, engineering, and studio facilities provided by 360 Pod Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. If you want to complain to Norm about anything, make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show, anywhere you get your socials, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at them, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com. And big thanks to Tony, the special sauce, who truly is the boss. Thank you for the cookies and the treats. We promise you to make the post-production move faster.